Oh man, welcome back. I am happy to see y'all, man. I'm happy that you still tuned in. I'm happy that y'all still anticipate episodes from me. I want to wish you all a happy new year. Um, I was expected to be back last week. I wanted to be back the first full week of the new year. Unfortunately, my grandmother went and joined the ancestors. She passed on January 6th. And all week I was dealing with planning a funeral with my mother and my aunt. So those were her two kids. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to record any podcasts or any episodes, but I got a nice, great show for y'all tonight. Like I'm like extremely excited to be back doing the podcast. Excuse me, podcast with y'all. Now, for those of you, I know some of you like to watch the video. I know some of you like to listen to the playback. Whatever it is you want to do, that's perfectly fine with me. But what I would appreciate is if you please, however you're listening to this, share this to your social media page. It is impervious. It is important that we get this message out tenfold this year. We must focus on getting this message out, and I'm going to rely on you guys to help me do it. I'm going to do my end of it, and I'm hoping that you guys can actually help me do it as well because I would truly appreciate that. I'm on social media. You can find me Marv Media Network, and then on Facebook, Unorthodox Logic with Marv. And as far as my personal pages, whatever. That's neither here nor there because I am migrating people away from my personal page unless you want to, see what I got going on personally, and that's going to be what I decide to share. So that's up to you. But I recommend you follow me on social media at Marv Media Network. And I believe that's what I am on. Let me make sure that's what I am on Twitter too. Because initially I was gonna have everything run through. You know what? It's really Marv is my Twitter and everything. Follow me because at the end of the day, I am who I am. I'm not. I just made that decision just on the spot. I'm not a person who's gonna sit here and try and continue to hide who I am, try and separate who I am, and say, hey, when I'm in this mode, I'm from this page. When I'm in that mode, no. I am Marv. That's who I am. I have various interests. I like to clown around a lot, but I also take a lot of things very seriously, and I'm a very knowledgeable person. So whatever I decide to start talking about on my particular pages, that's what I'm going to talk about on my particular pages. So it's really Marv on all social media platforms, except Facebook. You can just follow me on Marv Media Network on Orthodox Logic with Marv. I'm gonna keep that open on Facebook, to be honest with you, because I think that's useful. It's very useful on Facebook. It actually gets its most traction on Facebook. All the other pages I'm getting rid of. So the Mars World Radio page, if y'all to listen to the radio, don't worry about that. I'm just gonna run everything through Marv Media Network and stuff like that. So that's what I'm gonna do for that. Anyway, um, as I've been, I told you I took the remainder of the year off, and I was focusing on, spending time with my family, recalibrating myself, refreshing my mind, body, and spirit. Um, it was a theory that I came up with as I was, you know, thinking about things because I'm on bonding time with my son, so I'm on leave from work, so I'm not dealing with anything at work at the moment. I've just been chilling for the past month, and it's been very good for me, to be honest. So today, the main topic we're going to talk about is something I thought about called the 5 life cycle, meaning you get to live 5 different lives in your one lifetime. And this sparked something with my grandmother's death that made me really start thinking about just life in general and how that works. And so it was. I'm gonna break it down what the 5 life cycle is later, but it's a couple things I want to get over. We were going to do that last. Actually, we're going to do 5 life cycle last. But first and foremost, speaking of my grandma's death, I want to touch on something, and it's burial and life insurance. Um, for those of you that know me personally, you notice there was no GoFundMe that got put up. There was no, hey, can anybody spare some change or anything like that. We didn't reach out to anyone in the public space for anything, anything to pay for. Some family, they wanted to pay for some things, like some family wanted to pay for the food, some family wanted to pay for the flowers, just out of respect for my grandmother, they wanted to pay for that. But what was special, what my grandmother did was she had burial insurance and she has life insurance. So when it was time to bury her, she covered her own cost, more than covered her own cost. She covered her own cost. She paid for her own urn because she got cremated. And it was even enough money for my mother and my aunt to get necklaces made with her ashes in it. So, with that being said, I told y'all this before. Having that paperwork right is vital. To have your paperwork on point is vital. So we have to stop playing this, hey, I don't want to talk about death. Death is too scary of a conversation. It's not negative energy to talk about death. It's not a bad thing to talk about death because we're all going to die. So what you need to do is make sure when you die, you make it as simple as process as possible for your family because they're already grieving. The last thing they need to be doing is trying to figure out how they're going to get the money to bury you or get you cremated or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? So depending on where you live, the cost may vary. You need to, at minimum, have burial insurance. So that way, if something was to happen to you, your family can at least bury you. That's it. They can at least bury you. Let them bury you in peace. Everything else, like if you might have some back debt and stuff, that's a whole other thing that needs to be talked about. That's why life insurance is important. Because any debt you need to make sure your life insurance covers that so you're not leaving that burden on nobody else in your family. So at bare minimum, let's go like this. Let's go. You need to have burial insurance for the type of burial service you wish to have. If you wish to be buried in the graveyard, pay for your own headstone, pay for the cost of that. In Niagara Falls, that costs about $8,400, and then whatever your headstone is, that's gonna cost that. You need to have that much at least in burial insurance. So let's just say $10,000 in burial insurance. If you live in Western New York, Niagara Falls, whatever in Niagara Falls, I'm gonna use in particular. So $10,000 in burial insurance, that'll get you buried in a casket in the ground. Now, let's go with cremation. Cremation, that's about $4,500. So hold on, what are you doing? It's my son here, my second youngest son, Mason. What are you doing? Huh? Eat your food. But anyway, my kids are in trouble because they've been lying. So, in my house, lying is like an ultimate crime, and the reason why I'm establishing that, I'll break that down later. You know what? I don't want to jump off topic, but I'm gonna put down lying kids. I'm not trying real quick. I'll put that on the subject. So yes. So cremation costs about $4,500. So that's a cremation and a service. So what it is that's what my grandma wanted. So they bring the body to the services wherever you want to have it, at a funeral home or if you want to have it at a church, however you want to do it. They bring the body there. People come see the body. They say their goodbyes, whatever the case may be. You have your service. They whisk the body off. They take the body. They cremate it. They give it back to you in a couple weeks, or the ashes in a couple weeks. That's the cremation service. And then also you have the direct cremation service, which again in Niagara Falls costs about $2,300, where they just immediately cremate the body, and then you go have a service on your own, and you just have a picture, and everybody go there and say hi, bye, and all that kind of thing. So those are the options you have, and you need to discuss this with your family members and say, hey, how do you want to handle your services? Because at the end of the day, we are going to die sometime, and we don't need to be trying to figure out what you want or arguing about which way we think it should go. Because there was some family members that were like, oh, why y'all don't just bury her and all that. She wanted to be cremated, so we're going to respect her wishes. Now, she never said that she wanted the memorial service or the funeral service. Whichever one that was, we opted to have it to where people can come see her body and say goodbye to her. So that was our choice. But again, she covered all that. So we had the option to go either way. We weren't forced into a decision based on our financial circumstances. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's vital to have burial insurance. Life insurance now, because I'm not going to get too crazy on this episode. It's the first one back. I don't want to crack you all over the head too much because we're going to have a lot to talk about every week going forward all year. So let me get to this. Life insurance. Life insurance, at minimum, you should have life insurance to cover your debt, if you have debt. If you have debt, that means car, house, whatever the case may be, you need to have enough life insurance to pay that shit off. You don't have to leave. I'm a person who believes, and I want to leave life insurance for somebody to come up. But you need to at least, if you don't believe in that, that's fine, but don't leave somebody with your bills. You see what I'm saying? My grandma cleared her bills before she died, so there's no debt that she left us. She did leave life insurance, so I don't know how much that is. That's going to my mom and my aunt. That's something they'll deal with. That's something they'll handle, and they'll go from there. But that's not something that I feel like anyone should be leaving anyone with any debt whatsoever. So pay for your life insurance, pay for your burial insurance. My grandma did it for 30 years. For 30 years, she did that. So there's no excuse why you can't do it. Moving on. I happen to come across a few circumstances where I'm getting kind of annoyed. And I'm not the type of person who bashes certain businesses, especially not black businesses or anything like that. I don't like going on the internet and talking about, oh, black business this and black business that. But I am getting tired of dealing with bad professionalism with businesses. And in particular, I'm going to say black businesses because that's the businesses that I want to see flourish as well. Because this is the type of content that we're putting out on this particular podcast is catered to the black community, black Americans. So what I want to just express here shortly is that we understand that price points, quality, things of that nature. Right now, we're a little behind because we're trying to catch up to these other brands, these major brands that have more resources, especially more financial resources, to fund the quality and things of that for their business. Let me just text somebody. Hold on, I gotta send this message off real quick. All right, so I just had to text my wife and make sure she don't call me when she get off work. I think I'm like ignoring her. But professionalism. There's never a time where you shouldn't be handling your business in the most professional manner possible. There should never be a time where I see you on the internet bashing your customers or bashing potential customers. It don't matter if your customer is wrong or not, because I don't believe in that phrase, the customer is always right. But now I understand why people said the phrase, the customer is always right. Because as a business, it lacks complete professionalism if you opt to argue back and forth, especially on a public space with customers or ex-customers, because all it's going to do is detract potential customers. See, there's a natural hating in certain people. There's a small group, there's a bunch of people, I don't want to say small, it's enough people that hate on anyone who's doing something. And initially, they won't say anything about it, but all it takes is one person to say, yo, this business is fucking trash, they food soggy, and they this and they that, and that's gonna give those customers like, yeah, see, that's why I can't fuck with them. I had a feeling that their shit was gonna be raggedy or then that hating start coming out. So you as a professional business, how you respond to that is, hey, I do apologize that you didn't enjoy whatever. Let's say, for instance, people love saying that this particular business had soggy waffles, right? So if I'm this particular business, I'm like, hey, I do apologize that you didn't appreciate the quality of the waffles, but I'll be more than happy to give you, a compliment waffle. However you want to handle it. Like I would say, me personally, I would say I'll be more than happy to compliment the waffles next time you come in, and we'll make sure they're made to order. So if you like yours a little crispy, we can make those a little crispier for you if that's the way you like them. Like something like that. You don't get on there, well, fuck you, bitch. Don't come back to my store. If you ain't got to eat here, if you don't like the food, like, you don't got to be like that. You got to understand when it comes to business, there's going to be times where people don't like your services. They don't like your services. They don't like your food. They don't like the way your clothes look. Whatever it is, there's going to be people who do not like it. Excuse me. So what you have to understand is that's okay. It's okay for them not to like it. They don't have to like it. That's their personal opinion. That's fine. But you as a business can never go back and forth with them. It's no reason to. If a person got online and said, yo, the manager at Doors and Floors spit in my face, and you know damn well that person never stepped foot in your establishment at Doors and Floors, if they do that publicly, publicly, what you would want to say is, hey, I'm not familiar with the situation that may have happened, but please contact us so we can make sure we get to some kind of revolution, come to some type of resolution. You see what I'm saying? That's how you handle that publicly. And then when you get them on the phone, then you go, we were not able to find that you even stepped foot in the store. So we're actually quite confused as to why you would say something like that publicly. But we do request that you do take it down and publicly apologize about making a false statement, or we will need to seek legal action. Because now that's libel. I know everybody like to blanket everything under slander, but slander is spoken, libel is written. So if they write that on social media, that's libel. That, you know what I mean? So it's you must remain professional at all times. So if you see a situation where somebody say, "Man, these prices too damn high. I can't buy this shit." Hey, I do apologize. The price isn't what you were expecting, but hopefully, in the future when we come out with more products, it will be something that is within your price range. And if you still can, if you like the way the clothes look, a simple share is another way of showing support. Something of that nature. You know what I mean? You don't go, get your broke ass off my page. I don't give a fuck if these prices too high. You motherfuckers to pay Gucci this much. You motherfuckers to pay Louis Vuitton this much. You motherfuckers to pay Balenciaga this much. Like, don't get to doing that. You don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ever get in a war of words with customers or any potential customers online, because it's always going to make you look like you a fucking idiot. You see what I'm saying? So make sure you stay focused in that and understand that that's not necessary. It's never going to be necessary. Even somebody say, "Yo, I got raped inside Joe Smo's bar," and this motherfucker on a day that y'all was closed. You say publicly, publicly, you say, "Hey, I do apologize about that." No, you don't even apologize, especially if you know you was close. You say, "Hey, I'm not sure what day this may or may not have happened. Please, reach out and we can make sure we help any type of investigation that needs to go on. We're going to fully cooperate with the police." The whole shit in caboodle. Because then what happens is you make sure you cooperate with the police. Say, "Hey, this woman said she got raped in our establishment on Mondays. We ain't open on Mondays. We have never been open on Mondays. So there was no rape that could have occurred here. Now, if she has her days mixed up, we will fully cooperate in regards to handing over tapes on a Sunday night, Tuesday night, whatever the case may be. Maybe that's what she got mixed up at, if it happened. But we are going to fully cooperate. But if she's hell-bent on saying it was Monday, we're not open on Monday, so we are not going to take responsibility for such a thing that happened." You make sure you handle it that way, because essentially what you got to make sure you do is you never get online attacking your customers or potential customers, because you're just doing that in front of other customers and potential customers. So you have a really good likely chance that people are like, "I'm not fucking with them." In particular, Simone won't go to a particular hairdresser in my area, a girl that she would have loved to support, because her professionalism, simply her professionalism. She's like, "I love to go to her, but she's very unprofessional." And professional also means keeping appointments on schedule. If you have an appointment at 6 o'clock, you need to be your ass there at 6 o'clock, so when your customer shows up, they're ready to go. You don't hit them up and say, "Hey, or they gotta call you at 6:10, like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm making to see when you come here." Oh yeah, I had to go. I had to go drop my kids off because my baby daddy, or I had to go drop my kids off because my baby mom was this, or I had to go drop my kids off because the baby said. That ain't the customer's problem. They don't give a fuck. They had an appointment. They expected you to be there. You knew you had that appointment, so should nothing have came up so close to that appointment to the point that you got to be late to that appointment. That's a part of professionalism too, is keeping your appointments and making sure you are zip tight with them as well. Having an established policy in regards to appointments and things of that nature, and return policies, things like that, is very important. So stop the whole excuse game, because the excuse game is never gonna fly. We're not gonna keep doing the excuses. It's gonna be, are you gonna be able to handle business or are you not? If you can't handle business, then you know what? This is not the business. You don't need to be in business. Professionalism is vital, and if you can't be professional, you will never have a successful business. It just won't work. And with that being said, Make sure if you don't know how to be professional, you come to Marv Media Network because we have a PR and marketing services where we are able to help you develop a positive public relations experience with you and your customers and potential customers. So hit me up. I got experience in the game. Anyway, it's Oscar season. And once again, or Academy or award season for these TVs and movie shows. And once again, you got a bunch of black people crying because there's no diversity. You got a bunch of women crying, there's no diversity. Why are y'all so hell bent on this approval from these people who have shown y'all time and time again they have no plans on showing you any type of inclusion, showing you any type of equality whatsoever? Why? What do y'all gain from that? Do y'all need this type of approval, this white approval? Do y'all need it? Does it like feed you or something? Does it keep you alive? Like, what is it about this whole approval thing that you guys feel like you absolutely need to get? Because I don't understand it. I truly don't. I'm not the type of person who feel like he needs the approval of anyone. That's me personally. I understand I'm different. But what I'm saying is, if y'all see a history of somebody constantly disrespecting you, constantly not showing you the proper respect of you as a creator, why do you continue to go to these people's platform and go to these people award shows? Why do y'all host them? Why are y'all performing at them? Why are y'all even showing up to their red carpets? If the marketing for you is that important, then you need to take the good with the bad and just shut the fuck up when the awards nominations come out and you're not on the list, or no black people on the list, or no women on the list. Shut the fuck up. You know that's how they get down, but you constantly keeps going there, so obviously you gotta gain something from it, right? There has to be something you're gaining from that if that's the kind of shit that you're doing. So you need to ask yourself, is it that important to you, or you know, what do you gain from it? I don't understand it. And then even as a fan, I be seeing people going, every year they do this. I know they do it every year. I think I shut the fuck up 5 years ago. I shut the fuck up 5 years ago. I'm like, all right, well, I don't even need to speak on this shit no more at this point. I'm not speaking about nomination snubs. Who gives a, you got nominated? Did you win? Like, I don't need to speak on no shit like that no more. I'm good. I know how they get down. I know what their MO is. I know how they do their thing, and you know what? It's their shit. So it's their shit, and this is the culture that they understand, and this is the culture that they respect, and this is the culture that they wish to entrench themselves in, and then so be it. Just know that I'm not about to continue to support that and continue to indulge in that and get upset because we not getting the respect we deserve. They never gave us the respect we deserve, and they've shown a clear cut motive that they will never give us the respect that we deserve, and that's fine. And that's fine because it's their shit. So what we need to do is focus on our shit. I know y'all think white ice is colder, but they're using our culture a lot too. So just eject from their shit. Just see how the culture works for them, and how everything flows to them. Because at the end of the day, it's about dollars. So if a motherfucker keeps making $100 million off movies but never winning an Academy Award, where's the loss at? Is it that award that important to you? Where's our own? Why do we have our own shit? Because we can have our own shit. It's just y'all don't want to have our own shit. Y'all just don't want to say that. You know what I mean? So you can do your thing, man. I personally won't. I won't do it. I won't. I won't continue to indulge in it. I know they'll get down. I know how they do it. So, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So hold on, real second. 1 second. I tell my son to get in the shower. All right. Let's move on because I really don't want to do all that. Another topic came up, and it was about, let me get the Lion Kids real quick because that's a small topic. Essentially, what happened was my kids been lying to me. You know what I mean? uh, they have been doing a little bit too much lying. Oh, hold on. How do I reverse that? Undo. Oh, shit. I need that information. Damn. I need that information. I just deleted. I know I talked about white approval. I talked about. Oh, here it is. Burial insurance and life insurance. And I talked about professionalism in business. All right, let me get those. I'm sorry, yeah. I forgot I gotta keep those for the write up. All right. Okay. So my kids, I want to touch on this real quick. My kids have had this bad history lately of lying to me over just the craziest things. They're kids, you know. But what you have to do is you have to help establish a culture that lying is never acceptable under any circumstances. You don't lie to get yourself out of trouble. You don't lie to get yourself rewarded. You don't lie for anything. At least not to your parents. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one who has to get you out of trouble and things of that nature. So I need you to keep an honest culture and establish an honest culture with me. So the good, bad, and the ugly, we got to do it all. So that way, we can make sure I keep you protected at all times. As just being honest don't mean you're not gonna get in trouble still. It just means you're gonna get in more trouble if you're not honest. So make sure you kind of establish that kind of culture. Um, Also, um, I, I want to also touch on something small because the five life cycle is. I gotta write this down. See how my son won't get in the shower? I told him to get in the shower. I don't know how many times, and he will not get in the shower. But I want to talk about this biracial fetish that people have. I've seen a post where people were saying, where a woman said, "My baby is black, not mixed with anything, but just black, brown skin baby, about my complexion, whatever." Right now, some people got upset, like, "Well, if somebody did this with this kind of baby, you'll be mad. If somebody did it with that kind of baby, you'll be mad." And what I look at is like, yo, there is a fetish for these biracial babies because it mainly be them little bright-eyed babies, the babies with the little whatever color eyes, if they blue, green, hazel, whatever, they brighter though. The brighter colored eyes, babies, gray, smoke gray, stuff like that. Those bright-eyed babies, usually with the little curly hair, dark curly hair, slick, light skin, biracial, clearly biracial babies. Is typically what I see people fetishizing is they be like, "Oh, baby me please. Oh, my ovaries just jumped out my body. Oh, daughter me please, son me please." And it'd be men and women doing it. I'm not sitting here saying it's one or the other. So I see it a lot though. You know, and it's a fetish that people have because they still have that inner self hatred. Now, I do have a biracial friend who has kids by biracial women, so that's the only way his kids are going to look is how they're going to look. I'm not talking about that. That's not a fetish. That's not you fetishizing. That's you just reproducing with the genetics that you were given. I'm talking about they be motherfuckers that be my color or darker, and they be like, "Ooh, I want this baby." The only way you can get that baby is by biracial. That's it. It just ain't happening for you if you chocolate as Wesley Snipes and you try and get a light skinned baby. It's just not happening. It's only one way to get that. So, with that being said, why is it that every time a biracial baby come across your screen, you sharing it like, "Oh, I want a baby. Oh, I need this. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Oh my," like. So I get why that girl said, "You know what? I still have to remind my kids, like me personally, Marvin. Marvin still reminds his kids that their black skin is beautiful. And the reason why I make them say, my black skin is beautiful, because whatever skin you have, it's yours. You can't control that unless you go ahead and cosmetically adjust it. But your black skin is yours, and you need to understand that that black skin that you have is beautiful. It is. It's whatever skin that is to you. I tell my kids all the time, there's no such thing as good hair. It's just well taken care of hair. There's no such thing as good skin. It's just well taken care of skin. So if you're ashy and your skin all bad and your bad diet, your skin gonna be nasty. If you ain't taking care of your hair, you don't comb it, you don't moisturize it, you don't wash it and clean it like it's supposed to, it's gonna be terrible hair. So that's what I teach my kids when it comes to the whole hair complex, and the skin complex. So there are people out there that love to fetishize those biracial babies, and they do. It's just for some reason they think they're gonna get a baby that looks like that, and they're not gonna get it unless it's a biracial baby. How are you gonna sit here and say, "Ooh, I want this baby," and then say only date black people? And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but the genetics are not in your favor to get that baby. It's just the truth. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell people. I know people want to have these babies, and they just hoping and praying that they somehow look up on a light skinned motherfucker that can pass down the genetics for them, but it ain't happening. It is what it is. So love the skin you're in, and understand that the only babies that you're going to produce is based on the complexion of you and your partner. So that's how that works. Now, do genes skip? Yes, they do, because my parents are chocolate and I'm brown like my grandmother, the one that passed away. I'm her complexion. So yes, genes do skip generations or whatever. But, it's not often. It really isn't. It's not that often. So, make up your mind how you want to do it. But what I will say is that fetishization of them. Hold on, y'all. Man, he's losing his damn mind up there acting a fool. Anyway, so stop fetishizing these biracial babies, essentially what I'm getting at. All right. Before we get up out of here, I want to just talk about my theory of the 5 life cycle. Now, the 5 life cycle, it consists of child. Actually, I got this written down because I want to be very clear. Because it's something I'm working on that is going to break this down in its totality, but I want to run over it with y'all real quick. 5 life cycle starts with a child, ages 0 to 12. Then a teen/young adult from ages 12 to 23. Now, it's a lot of shit that's going to happen between ages of 12 and 23, but that's a very pivotal time in a person's life. That's when you're coming from, it's from 13 to 23. I put 12 to 23. I'm sorry, it's 13. So it's a 10-year time frame. But within that 10 year, you go through puberty. Some people are going to probably lose their virginity. You're going to graduate high school. You're going to go out, and you're probably going to graduate college within that 10-year span. So that's a very, very pivotal 10 years. And it's vital, that teen to young adult, 13 to 23. Then you got adult years, and that's from 24 to 40. And then you got the midlife, which is 41 to 60. And then you got the mature life, which is from 60 and beyond. Now, how the life cycle works is you got 5 different opportunities to determine your life. So this is why between the ages of 0 and 12, which is all my kids, are in the ages between 0 and 12, it's a time to start to set those morals, set those boundaries, help them establish who they should be as a person, and what type of morals and traditions and things like that. You start, doing traditions, building traditions, starting new traditions, whatever the case may be. That's where you teach them at during that time frame. From teen to young adult is going to be an expected time frame where you're going to start to somewhat lose your child. You're going to start to they're going to start to, all right, you taught me these morals and whatnot, and I agree with 85% of them, and the other 15% I don't agree with, so I'm going to do my own thing with that 15%. And you as a parent, you're only going to focus on that 15% of what they're doing and not the other stuff, not the other 85. So that 15% is going to be a fighting battle that you're going to have with that child. And it's going to be a situation where you're going to have to decide, hey, look, this is who my child wants to be, if it's not damaging them or damaging other people, I need to accept that my child has chosen this path, because they're going to choose that path between that pivotal age of 13 and 23. Now, for 24 to 40, they're going to come back to you and say, hey, you were right and you were wrong. They're going to confront you about things where you were right, and they're going to confront you about things where you were wrong, and hopefully they can make peace with you before you die. Because I say by the time they hit 40, shit, you should be dead. I'm a young parent, so I won't be, hopefully, God willing. But some of y'all are old parents or whatever the case may be, or most of y'all probably are young parents too. If you're a younger parent, then you won't be dead. But your child's going to confront you about the good and the bad, so you better be ready to have that conversation. You need to be mature enough to accept what your child is bringing to you based on not only what you taught them, what they dealt with through teen/young adult time frame, and what they've been dealing with the young adult time frame. This is also a pivotal time because around this time is when parents start getting sick, friends start dying, grandparents start dying, that whole thing. So it's going to be a trying time. Marriage is going to start kicking in. Baby's going to start kicking in. Moving, things of that nature. Major events are going to start happening. Real life shit going to happen between these years. And you as a parent, you still want to be there for your kid, man. You want to be words of wisdom at minimum for your kid. You want to be able to be words of wisdom, shoulder to lay, cry on, and things of that nature. A reason to come back home, especially if your child decides to move out of town. Then we got the midlife to elderly. Midlife to elderly, for young parents, this is when you die. Midlife. Sorry, midlife is from 41 to 60. This is the time frame where you're going to die. I know it sucks. I know it hurts, but most likely you're going to die around this time. This is where you need to make sure you are prepared to transition out of your child's life, because it's going to happen. Now, how do you prepare to transition out of your child's life? You make sure you don't leave a burden. This is where that burial insurance and life insurance come in at. And then we got the 60 and beyond. 60 and beyond is where, your kid is going to hopefully be a grandparent at that point, and hopefully you were able to be a great-grandparent if you're lucky. But your kid is going to be a grandparent and things of that nature. Even then, you may still be alive. Shit, you might be alive during that time frame. But you still need to be thinking about your mortality at that point, because it's almost over for you. So, again, it's something that I'm going to fully break down in my next big thing that I'm doing. I don't really want to wholly announce it yet, but my next big thing I'm doing, I'm going to fully break that down. But I just wanted to bring that to the table just because I'm going to be building on that. So when you hear me talk about the 5 life cycle and I bring up a certain time frame or a certain age group, y'all know what I mean by the 5 life cycle, okay? Anyway, man, I really appreciate y'all returning back, joining me on the show, things of that nature. I'm so happy to be back. I'm happy we're about to get this thing popping. Again, please, 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 however you are listening, just share that. I'm not even going to tell people where they should go listen to. However you are listening, share that. Help me out. I would really, really appreciate that. And I thank everybody that tuned in. I'll holler at y'all next